leader, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, has said his government wants people-centered projects in the country's 10 provinces to achieve inclusive and sustainable growth. Speaking at State House yesterday, where he met provincial ministers, President Mnangagwa said some inefficient ministers had created undesirable gaps. He said provincial ministers have to shift from being merely ceremonial and become administrative, championing the government agenda. Stachisiwe Gwaza gives us more in the following report.
In his address, President Mnangagwa said he expected the provincial ministers to be decisive in their respective provinces to help achieve set goals.
The dragging of feet and the fence sitting are not acceptable dispositions under my watch.
The meeting aimed at taking stock of development progress under the devolution and decentralization policy was attended by all 10 ministers of state and other high-ranking government officials, including Vice President Dr. Constantino Chiwenga. The president added that results demanded that a lot of sacrifices be made.
Increase momentum to achieve our national development aspirations requires leaders who are bold, focused, hard-working, and those prepared to make the requisite personal sacrifices for unprecedented results.
The policy of devolution and decentralization, he said, remained critical in ensuring the government succeeds.
Devolution is also critically important for national unity, social cohesion, and safeguarding the indivisibility of Zimbabwe as a sovereign unitary state.
Vice President Chiwenga said the meeting will ensure growth and unity across all provinces as disparities in governance reflect badly on the president.
Any disparity in development in your provinces reflect back to him, who is also the appointing authority, and therefore accountable to the development of the whole nation.
Government is pushing to ensure provinces benefit from the natural resources around them and remains worried that inefficiency have let down leadership at the time people must work in unison. For ZTN Prime, I am Stachisiwe Gwaza.
So the issue here, the word that's coming to me is transparency and accountability for some of the things. Howard, we were talking earlier, and we discussed the story on Tuesday, where we're saying, as it says, it's not a ceremonial matter. Yeah. It's actually hard work. And what are you bringing back to report of the things that you have done as that person who's in charge of whatever sector that you are in?
Because mostly when you look at provincial ministers, you know, the president talks about people-centered projects. Because you are trying to manage the country using these ministers. So what are you doing as a minister to make sure you improve the livelihoods
of the people,
right, in your province? It's just not a position where we're saying Marisa is a provincial minister.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't go and preside over state functions. Maybe there's independence, or Shika, you give a speech. It goes beyond that. Yeah. So now I think it's time for reckoning, hey? Yeah. Because we had NDS 1, touching on all ministers. But in your NDS 1, before we move to the next phase, what have you done? We need to see reports. We need to see.
And are you fit to even stay on if you've done anything? Yeah. You know, what is the plan?
I think since you're representing the people, as when you're doing whatever projects that you're coming up with for the people, perhaps meetings with the people to ask, hello, ever since we've had this person as your provincial minister, what has he done? What is it that you've tabled before him, and what then happened? I think that's very much important for progress' sake, because we don't, like you alluded to, we don't want to sort of like breed a culture where we just roll out red carpets simply because you're you know, a provincial minister and the likes.
I like that. I like what you're saying about, you know, going out to the people and actually having discussions.
Yes, discussions.
Because, you know, like you said, it's just like we're going for a dinner and that's it. But go and ask them, what can we do for you? How can we help? What are your ideas? How can we implement or start off or kick off from the ideas that you've already put on the ground with the people involved.
So I think just going back to the president's mantra, you know, leaving no man behind.
Yeah.
So as we are in 2025, you as a provincial minister, what have you done so that we are not leaving anybody behind?
Yeah.
If we go to the different provinces, is everything in order? Where are your people? Yeah, I think they need to